What is going on, guys? Taylor Super with Sharp Sports Network, bringing some of my favorite plays for this 11-game NBA slate. So I hope you guys had fun yesterday. It was only a 2-game slate, mostly GPPs for me. Played a couple of head-to-heads as well. Made some of my money back there. Made some good calls with like Pascal Siakam and some of the obvious calls like Fred VanVleet, things like that. Wasn't really expecting the rotation of the Pelicans to really go like that. 12 men deep in the first half. I mean, something you're not really expecting from a guy like Alvin Gentry, but only a 2-game slate. Time to look forward into an 11-game slate. Really excited about that. If you want to enter for a free season pass with sharpsportsnetwork.com, all you have to do is subscribe, like this video, and then comment below with your favorite play of the day. And of course, I will be streaming 2 hours before on twitch.tv/sharpsportsnetwork. Link is going to be in the description at 4 p.m. Central Time, 2 hours below. I'm really the only live streamer out there that is going to answer pretty much every single question that you guys have for me, no matter how many guys we got in there. I think we got into 224 viewers last night, so that was awesome. I appreciate you guys all coming out. Maybe I'm going to do a giveaway there, so cash giveaway. So anyways, let's just jump right into it. We got a massive 11-game not preseason anymore. It's regular season now. I'm too used to that. 11-game slate today. And 2 of the games really just draw my attention, and one of them is that Sacramento Kings and Phoenix Suns game. If you know me at all, and if you played with me last year, you know how big I am on playing these Kings games. Now the rotation is a bit deeper than it was just because of the additions of they replaced Willie Cauley-Stein with Dwayne Dedmon, but Harry Giles is out, so not very deep at that position today. They got Dedmon and they got Richaun Holmes. I expect Dedmon to play about 30 minutes today. I think he's underpriced on all the sites. I think Trevor Ariza there kind of muddies things up for Bogdan Bogdanovic, but I think more so it's just going to lower ownership for him, and I think he's way too cheap on all the sites. And I think he gets his 28-30 minutes, and we know how good of a fantasy producer he is, about a fantasy point per minute. So at the price that he is on all 3 sites that we're going to talk today, he's very, very cheap. But one of the interesting things is that it opened at 232.5 and rose to 234 with only 42% of the bets on the over, which means a lot of the sharp money is on the over in this game. So I expect this game to be very, very high scoring. We know it's going to be super fast paced. Neither of these teams play defense whatsoever. We know Buddy Hield just got that contract done. He's one of my favorite plays on the slate. Only $7,000 on Fanduel. I think that's really, really interesting. And on the second highest over-under on this game is going to lead me to my favorite play of the day. It's between the Timberwolves and the Brooklyn Nets. If you watched my videos earlier this year, I told you that we're going to go to the well over and over and over again with Karl Anthony Towns until he is priced appropriately. And he's kind of, he's there. He's priced. He's not too cheap, but he's definitely not where he should be. 11,000 on FanDuel. On Draftkings, he's 10.1K, and on Fantasy Draft, he is $18,000. And we are sponsored by Fantasy Draft. We're partnered with them. So if you want to do us a favor and support the team and support me, all you got to do is sign up using the code SHARPSPORTS when signing up for Fantasy Draft, and you'll have a rake-free experience. And if you're really trying to be profitable in DFS, having no rake is one of the ways that you're going to become very, very profitable very, very fast. I like Karl Anthony Towns a ton today. The only person in front of him is a dusty DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, and I think they split the 48 center minutes. So I think Karl Anthony Towns has his way in this matchup, averaging 1.58 fantasy points per minute without Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler on the court last year. Obviously, neither of those guys are on the team. We know that Ryan Saunders wants to play a super fast offense, and I think that this is the year that they're going to do it. Brooklyn as well plays a pretty fast offense last year, that is, and during the preseason, Minnesota ran one of the fastest offenses in the league, so I expect that to keep up, and the Vegas odds reflect that with the second highest over under on the slate. I think that Karl Anthony Towns is priced maybe appropriately, but not nearly as much as he should be just yet. So I'm going to be going back to him, and I think there's plenty of value to go to today, and we're going to talk about that right now. We know that Blake Griffin is going to miss the next 2 weeks with that hamstring injury, and the guy that's going to immediately slide in is going to be Markieff Morris. Now, he is dealing with a back injury right now, so be sure to check on that later in the day. I'm recording this early in the morning. But Markieff Morris, we saw this preseason overall had a 20 and a half usage percentage, but I think that goes way up with him in the starting lineup. In the regular season, I think that it's way higher. And today, if he gets to start at the 4, I think he ends up playing 32 minutes today. We saw in the first quarter of that game that Blake Griffin missed in the preseason. He shot, I believe, 5 times in his first stint, and that's something that you can expect. I think it's going to be him, Reggie Jackson, Andre Drummond garnering all of the usage in the starting lineup, and we know that they like to play their starters. They like to play a condensed rotation, similar to the Raptors, where they're only going to be playing up 8 or 9 guys in that rotation. And so the starters and key role players are going to get a lot of minutes, and I expect Markieff Morris to be one of those guys today. And I like him a lot on all the sides. He's very, very cheap. He's only 4.3K over on Fanduel, 3.6K on Draftkings, which is crazy. And on Fantasy Draft, he's only $7,000. He's $2,400 cheaper than Christian Wood, who I think Christian Wood could be very, very popular. Now, if Markieff Morris misses this game, Christian Wood is the play you want to pivot to. We saw how productive he is. We saw last year for New Orleans how good he was when he was given the opportunity. And even in this preseason, a massive 26.6 usage percentage when on the court this preseason with a 22.2 total rebound percentage. Very, very solid numbers. And I expect him to pretty much just resume that role that Blake Griffin and Markieff Morris we're going to play. But if they are both out, then I'm going to pivot over to Christian Wood. But as of right now, I expect Markieff Morris to play. But like I said, be sure to look out on that and then join the Twitch stream later, and I'll talk about it a bit later. And it brings me to another point. I think Reggie Jackson's another great player. Without Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler on the court last year, he averaged well over a fantasy point per minute. And even with Derrick Rose there, I still expect him to play 32 minutes today, and he's pretty cheap on all of the sites. Only $5,000 over here. He has a questionable tag on him, which could lower the ownership, knowing some DFS players, but it looks like he's a full go. I think that was more of a thing that was going on in the preseason. Only 5.7K over here on Draftkings. And on Fantasy Draft, he is only 9.8K, so very affordable everywhere. I think Luke Kennard on the same team is just way too cheap on Draftkings, especially. We know this guy's going to play well over 30 minutes a game, and he's very, very cheap at 3.3K. I think this is one of the clear mispricings today. So I like him quite a bit, and it really looks like one of the nights where we're going to be spending up for guys like Karl-Anthony Towns, and then maybe adding an additional guy like Luka Doncic or Bradley Beal. We know that Bradley Beal is going to play mid to high 30s in minutes with a massive usage rating, and we see how poor that starting lineup is. He's really the only person he's really battling usage for is with Thomas Bryant, and I expect Bradley Beal's usage to be in the range of 34-35% this year. Bradley Beal only 8.8K against Dallas. This is one of the more enticing games. If you're looking to game stack, you could bring it Bradley Beal and then bring it back with Luka Doncic and Porzingis and get some value in there. I think that's really interesting. And also, now that I typed it in, Brandon Clark at 3.8K is pretty interesting. We know that how good he's been in the preseason. Actually, he's been performing way better than Jaren Jackson when given the opportunity this year. But he should only play the 4 minutes. Jaren Jackson should play the 4 now that Jonas Valanciunas is back and starting. But they already said that he's going to be limited. He's going to start, but he's going to be limited, playing limited minutes. So it could open up some more minutes for Brandon Clark, and I think he's just too cheap. More of a GBP dart for me. Just because we don't really have super high clarity on how many minutes he's going to be playing with Jonas Valanciunas returning, but I think it's definitely an interesting route to go. But yeah, going to be streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Sharp Sports Network. Link is going to be in the description. Make sure to be there, answering as many questions as I possibly can. Maybe do a couple giveaways, whether it be a free membership with sharpsportsnetwork.com or a cash prize. So be sure to be there. If you haven't followed me already on Twitter, it's at Taylor Stuber. Link is in the description. Talking about some of my favorite plays throughout the day, every single day. And yeah, man, hope you guys have a good day today. And until next time, peace.